Welcome to Toyota Time with Timmy the Toolman. Today I am going to install a dash cam on my truck. And you might be wondering, dash cam, isn't that those things that cops use? Well, yeah, they use them, but regular folks like me and others also use them, and they're now pretty affordable, and you can get a pretty nice one for in the $100 range. So the reason for this, well, I recently got in an accident. It wasn't my fault. Motorcycle on a tight mountain road, came around a blind corner, riding in the center of the lane. I saw him at the last second, stopped, but the second motorcycle that came around the corner had big cargo carriers and hit the left side of my bumper, did damage. In the end result, I moved my truck before I took pictures because I was worried about being in a blind corner and getting into a secondary accident. So I moved my truck really quick to get it out of the roadway, thinking these people were going to fess up to their mistake. And what do you think happened? They claimed it was my fault. So they didn't do the right thing. They didn't admit their mistake. And what ends up happening is that there's going to be a discrepancy between the two parties. And if there's not any independent witnesses to prove where you were in the lane and what actually happened, then it basically happens that I cover my my damage with my insurance, they cover their damage with their insurance, and I'm stuck paying my deductible. But luckily, since I know how to work on stuff, I bought the parts myself through Camelback Toyota, and after I got the estimate, I'm going to get some money from the insurance, so I'm only going to be out $70 on some of my time. But basically, they struck the bumper here, did damage. Did a little crack here, but they're still intact. And then broke a plastic piece for the headlight adjuster, and I was able to find a little piece of pick and pull to fix that. So taking off the bumper is not really hard. It's just a little time consuming, and then you have to separate this plastic piece from this plastic piece and put it on the new metal that I bought through Camelback Toyota. So the reason why I'm doing this is I don't want to be put in this position again. I want documentation to help prove my side of the story, and the way you can do that is with a dash cam. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to install the dash cam on my 2000 Toyota 4Runner, and I'll show you the one I bought. This VO, I don't even know how to say it, VOFO A119. This gets pretty good reviews online. It was, I think, I paid about $90 or $100. I'll provide the link to Amazon. I buy most of my stuff on Amazon. And then I bought a 32 gigabyte memory card. And so I think the whole thing total with the memory card in this was about $120. And unfortunately, I don't have the memory card in just yet. This thing came on Prime in a couple days, and the other one was back ordered. So this kit comes with this. You can see by the size of my hand, it's pretty small. And I plan on putting it right behind the rear view mirror. It's got a lens that moves up and down, and it also moves side to side. You can tilt it either way depending on the angle you want. So that's pretty cool. You also had an option to buy the GPS version. So this is one mount that has the GPS, and you can see the connection there that will you connect your power cable. And this is the basic one. See, it's a lot thinner. It doesn't have GPS capability. Then they give you a nice long line so you can run it, stealthily behind all the trim, like on the headliner and along the side on the A-pillar. And I'll show you. I'm going to do that so the cable's not going to be visible. And it's powered by a car charger, so you just run the USB car charger and you can power it up. Or if you want to do it a different way, like run it to a constant power source like a fuse, you can do that too. But I'm just going to use the cigarette lighter or accessory charger adapter. And then they come with another cable that you can just hook it up to your computer to download videos. Comes with an extra adhesive in case your adhesive gets bad, and then it's got these clips if you were going to run it, the cable's more in an exposed type of setting. You have these clips to hold it in place, and you got your instruction manual. So this is the one I'm installing. I bought these tools, these 11-piece trim removal tool set from Amazon also. It's got all these different types of trim tools. And so I've never done much like stereo install or anything like that where you're trying to hide cables. This is going to be my first attempt of you know, cranking on some trim pieces to route cables. And so let's go to the truck and I'll show you how I plan on routing it. So right here, I'm going to put the adhesive mount right here, right behind the rear view mirror, and I'm going to get it as low as I can for my height to where it's not really obscuring my vision, but allows me some room to where I can take it off the mount if I want to remove it, like if I'm afraid somebody might steal it or it's going to be in a hot car for a long time. I can remove it and take it with me. And I'm going to run it along this headliner. You can see right here that when I had a stereo install, I had it installed, they did the same thing. They ran the cable for this mic along the headliner and then down underneath the dash. So it's going to run from here. I'm going to go along the headliner. I'm going to take this grab handle off so I could get a little more pliability from this trim piece, and I'm going to tuck the wire behind here, and then you can see right here, see how this flexes, and now that goes right behind the dash. So I'm going to run the wire down this trim, this A-pillar, and then tuck the wire behind there. I plan on taking the glove box door off. There's a couple screws down here. There's one here and one here, and it looks like that's all you have to do. And then you could take the glove box off, and then I'm going to run the cable behind there. And then I got the idea from another guy on a Toyota forum, is that there's a gap behind here, and let me stop and I'll get a light. So you can see I'm pointing, there's a gap behind the ashtray, and so I plan on routing the cable through there, and hopefully the closing of the ashtray doesn't, you know, crimp the line. And then I'm going to go right into this charging adapter right there. So that's my plan, to run it along the headliner, down the A-post, go behind the dash, behind the glove box, through behind the ashtray, and we'll see how that works. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, first thing I did is I just got some glass cleaner. I cleaned off the glass really well so the adhesive would stick really good, and then I put the dash cam up to where it's being hidden, you know, for the most part by the rear view mirror, but it's low enough to where I could kind of like tilt my head and get at these controls, and maybe also like turn this over and be able to adjust it without pulling it off its mount if I don't want to do that. So I think the higher up you go, it's going to be a little bit harder to pull the thing off and work the controls. So I went about as low as I could, and it's like 95% obscured when I have the rear view mirror adjusted properly for me. And so the next thing I'm going to do is going to start routing the power cable along the headliner. So clean it off really good, and then so if you want a measurement, I measured about 2 inches down and to the beginning of this mount, and then stuck it on. So about 2 inches from the edge of the headliner to the edge of the mount. Okay, before I start running any line, I'm going to take this grab handle off. I'm going to take off the door to the glove box, and I'm just going to pull out the ashtray so everything's kind of out of my way. So this, I'm going to grab in just this tiny little micro screwdriver, almost like the type you would use for like eyeglasses. And I'm going to pry this thing out, little covers. Get this other one out. Okay, and there's 2 Phillips screws, one there and one there. Should be able to see that with this head cam. Okay, I'm just going to use this what is it, M12 I think it is, Milwaukee Cordless, to zip them out. Okay, let's go for the first one. And they're tighter than I thought. Let's crank this up. Damn. Well, never mind. This thing sucks. I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way with a regular screwdriver. Those things are in there pretty tight. All right, back with the regular screwdriver. Man, those things are in tight. Damn. Okay. I'm gonna have to rethink this. Those things are in there like they're welded in there. Okay, let's scratch that idea. I used an impact driver, pounded on it a couple times with a hammer. I could not break these Phillips head screws loose. They must have put those in with some permanent type of Loctite or something, thinking nobody's ever going to want to take this off for whatever reason. But man, that thing is in there. So what I'm going to do instead, which I probably should have thought of at first, is I'm going to run along the headliner here and then just cut over right here. I was thinking I was going to run it down, but I'll just cut right over to this edge and then run the cable right along this edge here, and then back behind here, behind this gap right here, and then I'll run it. So I'm going to give up on this because I'm going to end up probably breaking something, pounding on it a bunch of times. So just go right across the headliner, across this plastic trim piece, and then down. Okay, so now that I've given up on the grab handle, I'm going to use this cordless to get these bottom screws out, one here and one here for the hinges for the glove box. There's one. There's two. Should be able to just open this and pull it out. There we go. Now this is out of my way, and you could see some of the other components that you normally can't see. Some of the blower and the air conditioning components. You got your air conditioning evaporator somewhere in here. This is looks like the blower right here. Yep, that's the blower, fan blower. So I'm just gonna try to run the cable somewhere behind here, I guess. Maybe put a couple of little zip ties there to hold it in place, and then run it behind the ashtray. Ashtray just pulls out like this, so you just pull it out and then push down on this, and you can pull it out. Now that's out of the way. So my path is all cleared. I could get the cable out and start running it. Okay, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the power cord into the this GPS adapter. So it just plugs in the back here. Okay, that's in. And then I'm going to start putting this up here, and I've got a couple different tools. I got this kind of wide, flat, you know, narrow, or kind of a knife edge, and you can kind of hook it like this, and I got the smaller one. So let's see which one's going to work better. I'll stop and then I'll pick the one I like best. Okay, I like the bigger one. So you could hook it in here. Let me see. So basically I'm hooking it in or pulling it away using like a fulcrum against the windshield, and then tucking it behind there. Just doing a little at a time. Hopefully you can see that good with my head cam here. Okay, how's that looking? That's all. It looks pretty clean. It's going straight into there. It's all hidden there. It's got to get a little more behind here. Okay. Now I got to cross through here, which might be a little bit harder. Let's see. Let me just check out the tools and see which one's going to work best. Okay, I finally figured it out. If you pry enough, there's little. It detaches a little bit. So now I should be able to get this through here. The USB end. There we go. That's what I was after. And then tuck that behind there. And now it's on this side. And pry that up a little bit and tuck that behind there. There we go. Okay. Let's see if that will snap back in place. Oh, it's sticking out though right now. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to continue running it down this A-pillar. Right down the A-pillar. Okay, I'm just using the skinny tool to create space to tuck it in more. And you get the idea. I'm just going to work it all the way down this edge. Okay, it's now gone along the headliner, crossed over right here along the A-pillar, and now you can see it sticking out right there. So I'm going to try to tuck it in behind here now. Let's see. Get this. Push this in. Let's see, where am I going to route this? Maybe right here. Stick it in right there. Okay. Now I'm going to have to unfortunately get on my back and look through there and fish this through. I don't know if this angle is going to work, but there's the USB cable. And I'll pull it through. Just like so. And we'll stop there. I'll show you, I'll pull some more through here. And voila. Okay. That's pretty well hidden. I don't think anybody's going to be looking for a wire running along down through there. And then I'm probably going to zip tie it right about yonder and run it right along this this metal piece that the glove box screws into. Okay, I thought maybe I could fish the line through that back area of the ashtray, but it's a little tight to get in there and I can't really see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take these console pieces off. They just pull off, get in here and pull up just like so. Almost heard a snap there. That wasn't good. Okay, and then this one, I'll take the shift lever, so unscrew it, turn it counterclockwise. So it will go over this boot. Take that off. I'll get these chargers out of the way. Put these down here. I have this OBD2 reader. I'm going to unplug that. And then it's Velcroed in. I think I'll maybe just pull that Velcro off too. Okay, pull that out. This should pull up just like that. Get that out of the way. And then this sucker, pull these knobs off. So that knob, this knob, and these little knobs here. Okay, and then this should pull up. I'll take the cigarette lighter out, take my faceplate off of my stereo. Now this should pull up too and pull off. Use that tool. Yeah. There we go. Now I got it all the way out of the way. Okay, now with all this loose, I can route this cable a lot easier. So I could go behind here, see what I'm doing a lot better without just blindly fishing for it. So let's see. Pull that through. I'll stick it through here, through the ashtray thing. Pull it through. Okay. Now it's all the way through. Now I could push all this stuff back together. Okay, I was mistaken. This comes off separate from this. You didn't have to take. I didn't have to take these knobs off. That was not a step I needed to do. So don't bother with that. Just put these controllers back on, or these little levers back on. Okay, and then I'm going to put all the rest of the trim pieces back on and be good to go. So all the plastic pieces are back in place. They just snap back on, just like they easily pull off. Just to snap them back in sequence, put this one on first, then this one, and then the one that goes over your parking brake lever, put this one on last. So 1, 2, 3. And then let me get the light here so you can see that there's a little gap right there, and the ashtray doesn't really affect it. It moves pretty good without hitting it. And honestly, I really don't even care. I don't even use this thing. There's no way I would ever smoke, and I don't let anybody smoke in my truck. So it's a nice route to hide the cable fully behind everything. And then I'm just going to put the charger right here, right in this one. Okay, you can see how I have it ran, where I got the charger turned in this fashion with the plug on the left side, closer to the driver's side. This way, if somebody's sitting in the passenger seat, they can easily plug into this side. So this, I'm just going to keep it in this orientation. You know, you can see it opens up and closes, no problem. So that's the way I'm going to run it. The next step is I'm going to take all this extra here, and I'm going to find a good place behind here to zip tie it out of the way. So here's what I did. I just bundled up the extra, put a zip tie around it, and then I'm just going to tuck it right behind here. It's out of the way. Can't see it. Next thing, I'm going to get the glove box back in, screwed back in. Okay, the glove box is screwed back in. The only thing I'm really not too keen about is white zip ties. That's all I had left at my disposal. So I'm going to go buy myself some black zip ties because they'll be a little more stealth. These white zip ties kind of stick out really, really bad. But yeah, so I'm just going to replace these with black zip ties. And the glove box is back in. Okay. Okay, the install is done. I'm gonna start the truck. The way the directions say with this dash cam is that you start it up and it just immediately powers up on its own. So let's take a look. I'll look at the charging accessory first. Okay, that's on. And it looks like this thing's powering on too. There we go. and it says reinsert card. I don't have my memory card yet, so unfortunately I have to wait a couple more days to get the memory card, and then I'll be able to see how well this works. Whether or not I'm going to do a review on this product, I don't know. I haven't really done any product reviews, but maybe I will. Maybe somebody who might want to copy and buy the exact same one, and maybe some information I give might help somebody out. So, but that's not going to be part of this video. It's going to be a separate video. Okay, job was complete. It was a success. It's working properly. The line is ran, I think, pretty well to where it's hidden. Nice install, if I don't say so myself. It's unfortunate that we live in times where people can be really dishonest, and that's what inspired me to buy this dash cam. If I get into another accident again, I want to have video proof that what I'm saying is true and what they're saying is false. It's unfortunate it has to be that way, but this is just some pretty affordable extra insurance to make sure that you're going to get them to cover the damages if they truly are at fault, and you don't have to get stuck paying your deductible and possibly have an accident on your record and raise your insurance rates because somebody doesn't want to be honest about how it happened. So don't be that person. Own up to your mistakes. If you're at fault in an accident, come clean and admit it so the other person doesn't take the blame or have to pay out hundreds of dollars to satisfy their deductible because you don't want to be honest about it. So now I'm off my soapbox. This was basically just a way you can run wires cleanly for a dash cam install. You don't have to buy the one that I bought. You can buy whatever one you want. I just wanted to show a way to run the wires in a clean fashion and route it to the accessory, one of the accessory plugs, so you can power it up. So thank you for watching Toyota Time with Timmy the Toolman. I will be back with more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.